want to lead a comfortable and dignified retired life? When you are young, retirement may seem a distant thing to worry about. No matter what your ideal retirement looks like, be it a relaxed time at home with family and loved ones or ones of adventure and travel, it will definitely need money. Growing old can be expensive. We have financial expert Mr. Hariharan with us to enlighten us on why to plan for our retirement. Mr. Hari, over to you.
Why I'm talking of retirement is, as a parent, we always want to do the best for our education, for our children. Now, what happens typically is, by the time our children complete their higher education and they are about 21, 22 years old, most of us would be about 50, 55 years old. What does it mean? That after we have provided for their education goals, we have very limited time period to plan for our own retirement, because the next 5, 7 years, 10 years, we ourselves will have a retirement staring at us. And therefore, it's one of the most neglected aspect in personal finance. But it is a very, very critical and an important financial goal. Again, why it's an important goal? Because it comes with time. So I work with Access Mutual Fund. I have a compulsory retirement at 58, 60. I may pursue something beyond that, but the age comes 58, 60, you're bound to take retirement. And given the kind of stress that we face in today's scenario, I don't think most of us would even want to work till 58, 60. Most of us would want to get retired at 50, 55. And therefore, planning for retirement is very critical, because retirement is going to take a lot of money. I will give you a very simple example. Let's assume that somebody is 35 years old today and is planning to retire at the age of 60, which means that person has 25 years left for retirement. And let us also take an assumption that the current expenses of this individual is 25,000 per month, 3 lakh rupees per annum. I have taken a very small conservative estimate. I know you might challenge it and you might say that nothing happens in 25,000. I know that. But just to take some numbers, 3 lakh rupees per annum is today expenses, 25 years left for retirement. And let us also assume that this individual, after retiring, lives for another 25 years. Okay? So to survive that 25 years, maintain the same standard of living as today, this gentleman at the age of 60 will need a corpus of about 3.6 crore rupees. Huge amount. And now if you can take your expenses higher, so if today you are at 50,000 per month as an expense, 6 lakh rupees per annum expense, you just double this, you are staring at 7 crores for retirement. That's again a huge amount. So again, very critical to look at your goals, invest for your goals. Time is very important. Okay. So I think just to give the perspective, I've taken both these examples, and our retirement is going to be very, very different from the retirement that our previous generation had. So if you look at earlier generation, my father started working when he was 17 years old. I'm sure most of your parents would have also done that. So typically it was 18 to 20 is when they started working. It was just plain graduation that they used to look at, and they used to go in for the job. And they worked till 60 years. So their work life was about 40, 42 years, after which they lived for another 15, 20 years maybe. So they work for 40 years, they live for 20 years. And if you again go back to our own family, you would find that earlier we used to have a joint family system. The jobs were much stable, even though they did not have too much of growth in the job, but the jobs were stable. Very simple lifestyle. I think all of us would have had only a landline phone at home at that point in time. And some of us did not even have a landline phone for a long period of time. I remember we got our television only when I was 18 years old. So with a very simple lifestyle, we used to go by public transport. There was not too much of outings in terms of hotels, movies. So very low discretionary expenses. So very simple lifestyle, a lot of savings that used to happen. Look at today's scenario. Education is important, which means you need to get a higher education. By the time the education is over, the child is 20 to 24 years old. Then you get a job. As I've explained, in today's stressful environment, we should be very lucky to survive and work till 55, which means our working lives have shrunk, they have reduced. But on the other hand, because of medical advancement, we are told that we are going to live much longer. So one can safely assume that many of us will live for 85, 90 years. Many of us would even hit a century and go in life. So what is happening to us? Our working lives have reduced. Our post-retirement life has also become similar. So we have 30 years of work life. We have another 30 years of retired life. And therefore you see the mismatch now with our previous generation. Another interesting that has happened now is no longer do we have a joint family system these days. In fact, I always keep telling that in India, in the next 25, 30 years, if husband and wife stay together, it will be called as a joint family. So we have nuclear families. Job stability is a big question mark these days. Lifestyle expenses have gone up. Today we have the smartphones. Every member in the family has a smartphone. Every 1.5 years, we keep replacing it. And every time we replace, we upgrade and take a bigger phone, expensive phone. There's so many things that we have started using now, the Zomatos, the Swiggies. We dine out, go for movies, Netflix subscriptions, and so on and so forth. So there's so many things that have happened to us in terms of the lifestyle expenses as well. So why I'm harping on all of these is because all of these goals, all our aspirations need a lot of money, right? And therefore, please bear this in mind that retirement is a very critical aspect of our personal life. If you don't plan it well, and there are enough and enough experiences that we can see all around us of people who are still wanting to work after their age of 60, 65, because it's difficult for them to sustain. So I hope none of us have to do that, and therefore planning all of this is very critical, because this is one way of being achieving freedom after retirement. So if you look at it in short, there are so many things that all of us want to do in our life. And as I said, these aspirations require a lot of money. There's a lot of cost involved, whether it is education, whether it is marriage, whether it is vacations, whether it is our own retirement. All of these is going to cost a lot of money.
Thanks for your detailed answer. If you have any questions related to this or any other investment options or related to your financial goals, feel free to book a free appointment with our financial planner. The link to the free booking is given in the description below this video. Also, will you be interested to attend insightful investment webinars? Then feel free to register for our upcoming insightful enlightening investment webinar, and it is completely free. The registration link for the upcoming webinar is also given in the description box. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Also share it in your social circle. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel so far, please subscribe now. Bye.